Can you see the ruins of Derwent Hall? Are you able to walk up to the old valve house, or has the graveyard and school grounds appeared? And are there any bottles of wine and spirits buried deep below the cellars of some of the ruined buildings? I could probably answer all of that right now, apart from the wine and the cellars, of course. I'm going to take you along Ladybower Reservoir. It is the middle of September 2025. It's a month since I came here and we saw a few things uncovered. Let's go for a walk and see how the lay of the land is now, because I think we're in for a few surprises. Right, just been having a lovely chat with a couple of lads walking around the reservoir. Always nice to catch up with people. Now then, what I didn't include in the update 3 weeks ago was the abandoned Mini. It fell down the hillside and it's been there since the 1970s. So let's pop down there, take a look at the Mini, and then I'm going to do a little update on the Waterhouses, because I believe I may have picked up on something that I've not shown before. There it is, look. That's unreal, it's still here after all this time. I'm going to see if I can get the drone over to it, just to have a look at it from a closer perspective. But remarkably, look, its steering wheel is still there. Another angle of it from the rear, look, you can see the steering wheel right where it should be. If we can zoom right in, we could probably get a look at the internals just a little bit better. There's some rocks in there. So gearbox would have been in the middle. That's probably the remains of the passenger chair on the left hand side as well. And from up here, look, from the drone, you can see it again. It's absolutely astonishing. Looking at it from this angle, slightly from above. It's really, really strange. It's eerie. It is said that that Mini has been there since the 1970s, when it careered off the edge of the hill or the cliff next to it. There's no fatalities reported or injuries, so I wonder if it did crash down with absolutely nobody inside. Next up is the Waterhouses. They were out of the water when we came last time. They've been out for many months, but there's something there a little bit different that we didn't pick up on last time I visited here, or even in 2022. It's quite an astonishing thing that you may not be aware of. Now, this has always intrigued me, because I think this may have been a cellar just down here, and I've brought a little torch with me. I don't know how good it's going to be. Let me shine it in. Look at that. There's evidence of like a stepped roof. That's going down. That goes down. That is definitely a cellar. You can't quite, I'm trying to, right there, if you can see the beam of light, that goes down a very, very long way. That is a cellar, isn't it? I'm convinced it is. Let me know your thoughts down below, because I've not seen anything mentioned about that online in the past. Being able to get so low down as well, beside the Waterhouses, you can see the aqueduct just there, look. But every time I've visited here in previous years, this bit has always been a boggy, sticky mess, so I'm not going to mess about with that. So one of the major questions, has Derwent Hall begun to make an appearance in September 2025? There's not a lot to see at all, but the good news is, for those that want to see it, it is just beginning to appear. Okay, I can zoom right in for you. Now you see that sandy bit of mushy land just there. It's like a little island. Let's pan slowly to the left, and you're going to see what appears to be a square object right in the centre. I'm going to zoom in as much as I can. That is the very top of the Lover's Seat. So the Lover's Seat has in fact made an appearance. Now, apologies for the wind, it is very, very strong. It's quite a crosswind. So we've got Lover's Seat just beginning to pop out, which also tells us that coming away from that, Derwent Hall, well, where is it? There's a bit of it there, and there's a bit of it just there. So let's go and take a closer look. Okay, that rubble and ruins just there, that is going to be the chapel that was built a little bit later than the actual Derwent Hall. Over there, we've got the valve house, or the pump house, but it is the valve house in the very distance. And also this little pile of rubble here, which is the opposite corner of Derwent Hall. So if we come back down to here, and I'll pan out just a little bit, there we go. You can see that little island next to where the Lover's Seat is. So just around about there where I'm stood now, between the Lover's Seat and that pile of rubble there, that is roughly where the cellar is, that you can look down. That cellar is remarkable. I'll put a picture on now, and hopefully we'll get to see that again. And now for the chapel. So that is the entrance that people generally walked in. It's not far away, look, probably about 8 meters. And the fireplace that you could often see is just a little way around about there. So the fireplace is there, and then just to the left there would be the huge stone pillar that you can often see as well. So from the chapel entrance and the gatepost being about there, what you then look out for is the gardens and the fish pond on the left hand side. So let's take a little look at what we believe we have just seen. So down here on the bottom left hand side, we've got Lover's Seat. That is just poking out right now. Here we've got the chapel that was built at a later date. Let's change to another photograph. So we've got the chapel just here. Look, now down here I'm going to circle where the cellar is, the one that you can look down when the waters are extremely low. And we've also got what I think is poking out opposite the chapel, the stone rubble just down here. Flip it around and you can see the Lover's Seat on the top right hand side. You can make out the cellar just here again where I'm circling, and the chapel just here, look, at the bottom centre. The stone post that I mentioned would be around about here, and the fish pond off to the left hand side, and the gardens top left. And on a couple of occasions I've been asked, will there still be fish in the fish pond? I'd say so, yes. I don't know how long they stick around when the waters drop and it goes dry around the gardens, but I'd like to think they do have the sense to leave. So yeah, Derwent Hall is starting to poke out, but I believe all of this is about 3 weeks behind where it was in 2022. There's more to see in the middle of September 2022 than there is now. And the valve house over on the opposite side was also completely out of the water, I believe, by mid-September 2022. Give it a couple of weeks without any rain, or a lot of rain should I say, and you probably could be walking around there, but I don't think at this point it's going to go as low as 2022. At the site of the church now, you could just see the edge of the building when I come 3 weeks ago, but now the graveyard is starting to appear. The date stone or the keystone is round about where that couple or the child is just there, but now you've got all of this going down, which was the former graveyard, and then the school was just beyond that. So let's take a look at the church again now. When I came a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you could just get to this outer wall just here, and I could walk along here, and the keystone and the date stone was visible at the other end. Let's get over there and I can show you. There we go, just down there, look. But I had to hang over the edge to actually get a photo of it and some footage, but now I can walk down, look, and there it is. Now it's dropped down this far, look, so we've got the graveyard area all around. I'd say it's come down probably about 15 meters, maybe a little bit more. Got some old bits of stone knocking around, look. If you come and see this, be very careful. Some of the old path, look, which came down from the church. The church, that's where the tower was, on that side. And this pavement goes down here. Another big coping stone just there, look. And more of the graveyard was in this area here, and the school just beyond. So that's dropped a considerable amount, hasn't it? But it's not really a great big drop in terms of the slant of the land. A couple more gateposts out of the water there, look, and that is right next to the church. So in conclusion to that, what answers did we get? Is Derwent Hall reappearing? Yes, it is, just a little bit. Do I think we'll get to see it all before the reservoir starts to fill over the autumn-winter crossover? No. It might do, but I think we'll be lucky. But it will drop a bit more before it goes up, but whether we'll get to 2022 levels, I'm unsure. And the giveaway from that is that I believe mid-September 2022, the valve house was completely out of the water, and it's really not. So it is about 3 weeks behind where it was in 2022. And finally, did I find any wine, spirits or beer down the cellar? No, I didn't. I could do with a beer right now. May go and get one. If you fancy buying me a beer, click the buy me a coffee or buy me a cake button at the bottom of the video, or maybe you could even become a channel member or Facebook subscriber to get early access to many things. Other than that, for now, I'll say goodbye. There's more videos coming very, very soon, this area and similar subjects around. I'll be back here in 2 to 3 weeks to have a look again. See you then. Bye bye.